Hey folks, this is Rhykker. Diablo 4 and Diablo 3's future. It's been a while since we've discussed these, but we've had two major videos over the past few months where we have talked about these topics. We've talked about where we think things are going based on what we're observing, and we are observing things. So we want to revisit those topics with the additional information we now have today, because things have happened. Our last video was about 2 months ago, and there's been more and more job postings. We haven't done a video for every single job posting, but I feel now enough has happened. Some very significant things have just happened recently, some insanely significant things. So we're gonna go over those and see where we are today, where a Diablo 4 or a new Diablo game may be shaping up, and whether we're going to be getting anything new in Diablo 3, whether an expansion seems like it's something that's to be likely. So first off, what we 100% know for certain is that Blizzard is currently hiring for an unannounced project in the Diablo universe. It 100% is a Diablo game. It's in the Diablo universe. This is not for Overwatch. A lot of comments on previous videos were saying, well, maybe they're hiring for Overwatch. No. It's very clearly listed. You go to the website, it shows you under the Diablo heading, and you look at every job description, and it says for a game in the Diablo universe, and it's all very clear that they want the people to have a very excellent understanding of that dark gothic feel, of that Diablo feel. So it's definitely a Diablo game. We just don't know for sure whether it's going to be Diablo 4 or something else entirely. For simplicity's sake here, we're calling it Diablo 4, but it could very well be a World of Diablo, you know, some kind of Diablo MMORPG. It could be, dare I say, a Diablo mobile game. Fingers crossed that's not the case, but it's within the realm of possibility. I don't think it's likely, but it's a possibility. Anything is, really. Anything is on the table right now. We know scant information, but they've been putting job listing after job listing after job listing. This all started back last summer, I believe it was. So it's been about a year now that they've been starting with these job postings, and they started with sort of like art director, concept artist. So it seemed they were working initially very high concept, just trying to bang out some artwork, get a feel for things. Then they started moving into putting job postings for basically people to work on the game engine, you know, build a graphics engine for the game. Then sort of like lighting artists that were more focused on, you know, sort of in the 3D, building it within the 3D world. So things are starting to get a bit more concrete, and beyond that, we've had even more. We've had postings for an animator and a senior animator, so we're going from static images now to animation. But now the latest job posting, which is the biggest reveal, was just posted a few days ago at this point, and it is for the game director for this unannounced project. If you're not clear on what that means, the game director is as close as you can get to someone who is solely responsible for the entirety of the game. He is the creative lead over the whole project. He acts as the final arbiter of what is and what is not permitted in the game. So to give some context there, the initial game director for Diablo 3 was Jay Wilson, famous for And Then We Doubled It.
And then we doubled it.
The latest game director for Diablo 3 was Josh Mosquera. He also headed up the console version of Diablo 3. Now, here's the thing, though, about this job posting just going up now. And if we take a look at some of their older job postings and how quickly they were filled, it was a matter of months before they found the right candidate. I think in some cases it took up to 6 months before a job posting was removed. So if they're at the phase where they're still getting a game director, assuming it's not because their current game director left, then we're still in a very early phase of development. And so far, every other job posting, again, dating back to last summer, has been pointing to this, that we're in a very early phase of development. Is this Diablo 4? Is this a Diablo 3 expansion? I personally don't think it's an expansion. Some people do still hold to the possibility that it is an expansion. I think if we are getting a Diablo 3 expansion, it's not this, that it will be something else entirely. I think this is going to be something different from an expansion if we get an expansion, which I'm sorry, I don't think so, but we'll talk more about that. But basically, basically, Blizzard tends to time expansions about 2 years after a release. So we're coming up on a D3 expansion needing to come out soon, and at this stage, if given what we're seeing from this job posting, this game isn't going to be releasing anytime soon. We'd be lucky if whatever this is will be revealed at either BlizzCon in November or possibly Gamescom in August. Then it's going to be some very, very just conceptual work, likely, maybe some animation, mostly teaser type stuff. Stuff to build up hype, but I doubt we're going to see any playable demos or anything like that. I could be surprised. I don't know. This is speculation based on what I know in the industry. I've worked in the video game industry for a number of years as a game journalist, and just sort of experience in knowing Blizzard. I would highly doubt we're going to see anything really concrete, but I do expect either at Gamescom, I'm hoping Gamescom, but BlizzCon at the latest, some kind of actual announcement. So this segues into a potential Diablo 3 expansion, and the current status and the future of Diablo 3. So last we left off, the Diablo team lost some considerable talent. They lost their lead world designer, Boyarsky. They lost John Yang, who was one of the, basically a pretty significant and crucial member of the development team with regards to itemization and balance, and with an excellent eye towards the end game and the high-level player experience, and at least one other, member of the team. So the team has been shrinking in size, has lost some significant people, and it was just revealed a few days ago, shortly after the job posting for game director for the unannounced Diablo project. It was revealed that Josh Mosquera, game director of Diablo 3, has stepped down. Now, you might think, oh, that's good news, he might be moving on to the new Diablo project, but no, Josh is actually leaving Blizzard altogether. And Blizzard has stated that the role for game director now for Diablo 3 will be filled either externally or internally. I suspect it'll be someone, an internal member of the team. Who knows who it might be, but again, these are some pretty significant roles that have left in a period of about 6 months to a year max, less than a year, roughly about 6 months. We've had a shift of a lot of key figures off the Diablo 3 team or leaving Blizzard altogether. And Josh basically left because he felt that Diablo 3 was in a good place and he felt he can leave it. So what could this mean for Diablo 3? For the future of Diablo 3? I call back to what I said months ago, that all evidence suggests that Diablo 3 is entering maintenance mode, which is not a bad thing, guys. It doesn't mean Diablo 3 is gonna die. Diablo 2 entered maintenance mode a very long time ago, and the game survived for many years thereafter and still survives to this day. Just means there's no, new items being introduced, no new content, but we can still see balance changes. We're gonna still see the game being maintained, thus maintenance mode, not, just bury it mode. One reason that the loss of Josh is being seen as something very significant here is because I need to tell a tale of two game directors, and you either already know this story or you don't, but you got Jay Wilson and you got Josh Mosquera, and in the community's eyes, one is a devil and one is our Lord Savior. Basically, Jay Wilson ended up being the scapegoat for everything that went wrong with Diablo 3. And I guess, in a way, you can say yes, Diablo 3's faults, Diablo 3's botched launch. Jay Wilson is ultimately responsible, being, the captain of the ship, being the one who had final say on everything. But really, games are made by teams. It's not just really one guy calling all the shots. I'm sure there were a lot of people that contributed to both the positive and negative aspects of the game. It's just easy to point your finger and blame that guy whose name is listed under game director, especially given that Jay Wilson was possibly the face of Diablo 3, or at least one of the most prominent faces of Diablo 3 during development. Again, you got these sound bites of, and then we doubled it, and it's actually astonishing how quickly Jay Wilson went from being seen as sort of a heroic figure almost to being vilified and demonized after pre and post launch of Diablo 3. And when he ultimately left the position of game director, Josh Mosquera, who actually was the person who headed up the highly successful console version of Diablo 3, which caught everyone by surprise. Diehard PC gamers, diehard Diablo players were just ready to ridicule the console version without even giving it a shot, but then the reviews start coming in, and hey, it turns out it's a fun, engaging experience, and that landed Josh Mosquera the spot of game director on Diablo 3 for moving forward with Reaper of Souls expansion. And again, it's easy to either blame or give credit to one person. Mosquera is largely credited with turning the ship around and basically undoing the damage that Jay Wilson caused, Jay Wilson and his team. Even though the team was mostly the same, you know, it's not that they fired the entire Jay Wilson team and brought in Josh and his heroic team of angels that saved the game. It was the same team largely, but with a different direction. They managed to spin things around, listen to community feedback, and bring in a lot of those amazing ideas, surprisingly amazing ideas that the console version introduced. Loot 2.0, there's so many systems that just were a lot more fun. They lost the auction house, and we also saw an overall shift in Blizzard's communication. Prior to Reaper of Souls, the Diablo team, it was communicative to an extent, but the degree of communication and openness with the community really became wonderful with Reaper of Souls. So how much of this is thanks to Josh Mosquera? We can never know for sure.
When you do things right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all.
I suspect that Josh's influence probably wasn't felt very much for the last year or so, I want to say. I don't know for sure. This is pure speculation, and this is not to say anything negative against Josh. My impression is that most of his influence was before Reaper of Souls launched, that he kind of basically laid out his vision, laid out his plan, and probably after that he kind of let the people that he trusted in positions do their work, do their thing. Again, speculation at this point, but I don't feel that, because Josh left now, the game's going to crash and burn. I don't think that's a concern at all. I think it's been left in a good place. I think Josh wouldn't have left if he didn't feel that were the case. But what this does mean is that if there is another expansion in development, which there's really no evidence to suggest there is, Josh is not going to be a part of that team. Leonard Boyarsky is not going to be a part of that team. There's a lot of Blizzard talent that's not going to be on that team. So, I don't know. I'd be highly skeptical of another expansion. And this is where the whole Dark Prophet thing comes in. Call it a rumor, call it a hoax outright. At some point, there was some rumblings of a leak of something called Dark Prophet, and people speculated that, this could be the next Diablo 3 expansion after Reaper of Souls, but more evidence suggested that it might be tied to the Warcraft universe, in fact, the World of Warcraft expansion, maybe. So here's the thing, guys. This whole Dark Prophet thing's been floating around for a while, and there's just no legitimacy to it whatsoever, no credibility to it whatsoever, no reputable source has ever published anything about it. You go look up this information, you see, 4chan, you see, someone's personal blog, you see Owned Core, a very reputable source that posts and hosts exploits and bots and all that wonderful stuff. So there's no legitimacy to these Dark Prophet rumors whatsoever. However, it happened a couple days ago that on Reddit, this was just after the announcement of the new game director, I saw a Reddit thread basically saying Dark Prophet expansion leaked on PEGI. PEGI is the Pan-European Game Information thing. I don't know. It's what gives ratings to games, right?
PEGI 18.
So you go there, you can find any listing of game, you find its rating, why it's been given that rating. And so I click the Reddit thread, and what do I see? I see a cropped screenshot of the PEGI website showing Diablo 3, The Dark Prophet. Now, I'm a skeptic, I'm a scientist, I'm a journalist, so first thing I do, I go to the PEGI website, I look up Diablo, I look up all the listing of Diablo games, and I don't see this Dark Prophet listed. So right away I'm skeptical, I leave a comment saying that I'm not seeing it on the website, I'm asking if this is a Photoshop, I'm saying this seems very fake, and I know that this can be faked very easily. I say, give me 5 minutes, I'll fake this to show how easy it is to reproduce this. And after I do that, this guy deletes his thread, or I don't know if it was him or if it was a mod, I'm not clear on that, but all of a sudden, the link is deleted. The link that he posted to the image, because that was the entirety of his post. It was just a link to that screenshot. No information, no link to the website himself, he just linked to his cropped screenshot, allegedly from the website. That's suddenly deleted. So I no longer have that original image, but if you look at my reproduction of the hoax, what you see here is what I made. Diablo 3, Reaper of Bullshit, and you can see that it all looks completely like it's part of the website, in a screenshot, of course, because screenshots could be doctored. This is why if you want people to believe you, you post more than just a still image. You give some information, you give some context, even then people are going to suspect you, but you know you're posting something controversial, at least try to back up your claim. But to me, the biggest tell was that when you search for Diablo games, so this was his exact screenshot, the only thing that I changed, the only part that I changed, was this top section here, which he had Diablo 3, The Dark Prophet. If you go to the actual PEGI website, you'll see that when you search Diablo, the first listing is the PlayStation 4 version of the game. Now, if there was an additional entry, The Dark Prophet, then that would have simply pushed down the PS4 version. It would not have overridden it. It wouldn't have changed its placement. It wouldn't have changed the placement of the rest of the list. So, if someone were to just go there and change the first entry, the PS4 entry, this is what it would look like, and that's why I highly suspect that is exactly what he did. Because his obvious rebuttal would have been, oh, they must have, leaked it accidentally and then removed it from the website, that's why I took the screenshot to prove to you guys. Well, again, highly skeptical because where's the PS4 version? It's not adding up. This guy didn't even bother to defend himself when I further questioned him when he insisted that he didn't fake anything, so here's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to show you how easy it is to fake this stuff, and we're not even going to do it on the PEGI website. We're going to do it on the actual Diablo 3 website, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this, folks. So this is what we're going to do, folks. We're going to create our own hoax right here, right now. We're going to pretend that there is a Diablo 3 expansion called The Dark Prophet coming. So let's do this. Now, something that people aren't aware is that you right-click on a website. I'm using Chrome right now, but you can edit websites, guys. It just edits it for you. It's editing your own cached version of the website, and once you refresh the page, your changes go away. But you could actually change the HTML code in a website to whatever you want it to be. So, right here, this is the title. Let's change this. Let's change it right now. Diablo 3, The Dark Prophet expansion revealed. Bam. And look at that. It just changes instantly on the website. Let's edit the description right now. Today at Gamescom 2016, Blizzard revealed the next expansion for Diablo 3. Gotta remember to make it I and not 3 to make it seem official, guys. That's the secret. The Dark Prophet. Exclamation mark, because they're excited to announce this. So, we're not going to put any comments. We're going to pretend that this happened. It was a momentary slip, and they removed the post immediately. But we were super quick. We are snakes. We have cat-like reflexes. We spend our day on the Diablo homepage hitting refresh, hoping for someone to fuck up and leak something so that we can take a screenshot. So here, we're going to change this to 0 comments so that we know no one commented on this. There we go. Now we need to change the date. We need it to be post-dated in the future. We're going to pretend that Blizzard had this queued up for Gamescom. So we know that Gamescom 2016 takes place August 18th. It's the 18th through the 21st, I believe, but we'll just make it on day 1 of Gamescom. There we go. Now this is posted August 18th, 2016. All we got left to do is change this little picture here. So we gotta find an image. I don't want to put too much effort into this, so I'm just gonna Google search Diablo 3 concept art over here. Okay, I found an image that I like. I'm gonna copy image address. We're gonna go in here now, swap out the URL of the current image, background image right here, edit attribute. We're gonna pop in our own image. This is a piece of concept art that most people aren't too familiar with, but if you want to be a little more in-depth in your hoax, you'd go find some concept art made by some fan or something, maybe an unrelated game altogether, something obscure so that people can't catch it. And that's it. Here we go, folks. Take a screenshot of that, and there's your hoax. That's how you make a hoax, guys, in less than 5 minutes. This took almost zero effort, and some people would actually believe this. Don't believe everything you see. Wait for facts. Wait for corroboration, wait for reputable sources, and when people make claims, bust them, bust their chops, try to get them to leak more information, question everything. Remember, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. But we'll finish off with some potential good news about Gamescom. So, Gamescom is a convention, and that is where Reaper of Souls was actually announced. It was where it was revealed by Blizzard. And we know that this year, or at least rumors are this year, that Quinn69, the biggest Diablo 3 streamer, Quinn69, and possibly biggest Diablo 3 YouTuber, is being invited by Blizzard to attend. This I'm not 100% sure about. This is what the rumors are saying right now, but Blizzard certainly will have a presence at Gamescom. So if they are bringing Quinn there, then is it going to be because they have nothing to show for Diablo 3? Now, at BlizzCon 2015, they had myself, DatMods, and Quinn attend to live stream at the event, and they didn't have anything to announce. However, BlizzCon is a convention for Blizzard fans. It is a cause to come together and celebrate our love of Blizzard games, and they did have some new stuff to show us as well with regards to patch 2.4. If they're gonna fly out Quinn all the way to Europe for Gamescom, which is not a Diablo, not a Blizzard-specific convention, do you think it's going to be because they have nothing really to announce or show? I don't know. This is speculation, but it makes me just a little bit more hopeful for something Diablo-related to be announced or revealed at Gamescom. That wraps up this video. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment with your thoughts on the future of Diablo 3, and a possible Diablo 4 or new Diablo game. What do you think about all of this? Where do you stand? Check out these other videos, and subscribe to join Rhyker's Raiders to be alerted when my next Diablo video goes live. 3 support meta is dead. Long live 3 support meta. No, wait, fuck 3 support meta. No, good riddance 3 support meta. Never come back. Okay.